What's going on, everybody? I recently made a sort of random, free-flowing discussion video. It was non-edited. It was just an idea that popped in my head, came up, recorded it, posted it on YouTube, and I got a ton of great feedback. You seem to all really enjoy that video, which I kind of see. It's more personal. It's more, of a conversation discussion. It's free-flowing. It's not edited or anything crazy. But I have another idea that has kind of been on my mind for a long time now, and I just wanted to get your opinion and your feedback on it. But before we jump into it, hit that like button. It helps me out a lot, and it lets me know that you enjoy these sort of free-flowing, just conversation-type videos rather than the more structured, like, Scream videos. Because I think these are fun. It'd be awesome to just be able to just come on here, spew out whatever's in my head, if you all enjoy it, and then we have discussion down in the comments. So hit that like button if you enjoy this type of video, and if you're not already, subscribe to the channel, followed by the bell notification so you never miss an upload. And now that we got that little plug out of the way, let's get into my sort of thought process, I guess you could say, because it's not, I wouldn't really call it a theory, it's more of an idea that I have, and it is in regards to, I personally think something, I don't know specifically, but something is going to get retconned in this upcoming Scream. Now, there's no really major evidence or anything really pointing to it, other than, of course, there's theories that Stu would come back, and if that happens, then obviously that sort of retcons things, because we believe Stu to be dead. There's certain theories and ideas that people have came up with that I guess would kind of retcon things, but I don't mean anything like extreme like that. I just think something that is going to happen that we've always perceived or thought to be the case all of a sudden is something different. Maybe it's a quick little backstory. Maybe it's, in the flashback sequence that we're supposed to get. I don't think, again, it's going to be anything major like Dewey's the killer, although I sort of love that, me personally love that sort of story arc, that sort of twist, but I know a lot of people don't really like that. They want Dewey to be Dewey, which I completely understand. But I don't think it's going to be anything to that degree. I think it's going to be something very minuscule that maybe not everyone would really notice unless you're sort of in that mindset. Like, if you have the understanding and broad scope of all the Scream films, you're like, wait a minute, that's not right. I feel like that is something that I could see happening. Or maybe even a character. Like, a great example was Scream 3. Roman sort of retconned a lot. And that's why a lot of people didn't like Roman as a character, because it sort of took away from Billy and Stu. Well, I could see something like that happen. Maybe with Martha Meeks being involved. Maybe it's something that she presents, to the film, or something with her character-wise, that would sort of change the way we know Scream from the previous films, because she is an important character in the sense of, like, she's been in the previous films, although very briefly, but she is Randy's sister. So I think that one direction that could change a lot would be whatever happens with her as a sort of character. It's very possible that how they build her backstory could change a lot. Again, this is just an idea for her. I don't even know if it will change anything, but I just feel that they're very focused on sort of keeping Scream in a lot of ways, but they want it to be their own thing. They want to do their own direction. They want to make changes. So I can see them making changes to the previous films to sort of fit their narrative that they're trying to create. Like, I could see them, not anything major. Like I said, I don't think Dewey's going to be a killer, or, I don't even think, they'll bring Stu or Kirby or anybody back. I think it's more of like, let's change this to fit this. Like, let's change A and B to fit Z, just little small changes to kind of help keep the story flowing. But it's just something I've always thought, just listening to the discussions that the directors have had, that although don't really give much information, what has been released as far as like what they want to do with the film, how Courtney said, like, this is its own Scream, even though it's not a reboot, it's not a thing, it is Scream because it's their Scream. So, and they're bringing back a lot of old characters. You know, Joel is supposed to be in this upcoming film, so if that's the case, who knows what the backstory for him will be, like what's happened between Scream 2 and now. You know, you have a lot of returning characters that are supposed to be coming back that don't have major backstories behind them. And depending on what they do with those backstories can really change a lot of what we know for the franchise. And I could just really see them doing things that can make us go like, wait a minute, that doesn't add up. That doesn't make sense. Because my sort of argument for it is it's happened. It happened in Scream 3. You know, that whole movie was essentially a retcon for the original Scream. Like, that Billy and Stu weren't the ones that came up with this idea that, yeah, although Stu was this, you know, he was upset and committed the murders because Sid's mother was banning his father and screwed up his family. Roman was the sort of retcon. Roman was the one that started it all. And yes, he wasn't the one that handed Billy the knife and said, hey, do this. Like, Billy was responsible for his own actions. He was the one that committed these Woodsboro killings and stuff. But they retconned small little variants to fit the narrative that they were trying to tell in Scream 3. And that's sort of what I mean by changing the narrative. Like, it really, I could see the same thing happening in this film. Like, they might change something in Scream 4, Scream 1 through 3 that we've always perceived, and now, boom, now it's sort of slightly changed. Maybe nothing major, but just slightly is different than what we always thought it would be to kind of fit the narrative. At the same time, it could be something major. Again, not a returning character, but depending on, like I said, the Martha Meeks. Let's stick with the Martha Meeks sort of idea. Depending on how you explain her backstory, her character, her return, her whole upbringing in Woodsboro, just everything about Martha, there's a big chance that you could change a lot. I mean, even like the Judy Hicks theory, if Judy's kid happens to be Billy or Stu's, like a lot of people theorize, a lot of people have talked about, then that sort of retcons a lot of what we know. Because now Judy is this new character and they have to make her story and her kid match Billy and Stu in a lot of ways. So now you're starting to change what we've known from the franchise. And to me, and like, yes, I guess you can argue it, you know, you're just continuing the story, but no, you're changing elements from the past. You're changing, like, you're changing things that have happened that we've always known, and now you're introducing new characters and changing past narratives to fit those new characters. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Like, I'm not complaining about it. As long as it is good storytelling and it fits in, then I'm all for it. As long as you make it make sense, and as long as you make it an interesting story, and it's something that we can, as an audience, understand and really get on board with, then I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Like, let's do that. But at the same time, you risk turning off a lot. Like the Roman thing. A lot of people love Scream 3. A lot of people feel Scream 3 is their favorite film. I get comments all the time on videos where I've talked about Scream 3, and half the comments are people, I hate it. Half the comments are people, it's the best out of all of them. But the problem is that usually people's complaints is the Roman story was really random. Like, you know, we believed Billy was this thing the whole time, and now all of a sudden Roman is the long-lost brother of Sydney who now returned, and he's the one that started it all. And now you essentially changed the entire franchise. And made it about where Roman was the sort of mastermind. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you can, if not done correctly, then you really can turn off an audience. And that's just sort of my theory, idea, and opinion about that, is that if done correctly, you can really capture an audience. You can really have us Scream fans excited. But if you change something that is significant or something that is important or something that we perceived for so long, then yeah, now you have a lot of complaints and a lot of problems. But as always, this is a discussion, and I want to hear from you. Let me know what you think. Do you think anything could be retconned? Do you have an idea or an opinion or thought? What do you think about what I said? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you think, no, it'll be pretty straightforward? They're not even going to really touch on the previous films? Because I do think, regardless, the previous films are going to have an influence on this upcoming film. And therefore, if it is going to have an influence, then there are going to be elements that they're going to have to incorporate, that they might have to sort of stretch a little bit, maybe not retcon, but sort of stretch it out a little bit to make it fit. But let me know what you think. Again, let me know what you think about these sort of random, just me jumping on and recording live and posting it type videos. If you enjoy them, if you don't, if you think like, no, go like do the structured videos, don't do these. I mean, of course, I'll do the structured videos. You know, I'll have another one coming out later today, so look forward to that. Subscribe to the channel if you're not, so you get the notification for that. But yeah, like, I'm not gonna take away from, you know, the structured, like, Scream videos. It's just, this is fun to me. Like, I enjoy coming on, just sort of letting everything out. Sometimes, you know, like, halfway through this video, I felt like, oh, I made really good points that I should have made in the beginning. And when I'm not editing it and structuring it properly, I can't, like, go back and fix things or arrange it so it fits a certain way. I just have to spit it out. And, you know, you have to sort of follow along and then go, oh, that is a great idea. But I enjoy doing this. I enjoy just coming on, spitting out. This outro's kind of long, just because I want to get your honest opinion as my viewers, as my audience, as my subscribers, because I do this for you. I do this for the discussions, the conversations. And yeah, like I said, I really enjoy it, but I want to do it only if the feedback is positive and you all enjoy this type of free-flowing video. The first one did really well, and you all seem to really enjoy that video. So I just want to start doing more and see what the response is. So please do your part and let me know. Even if you hate it, tell me you hate it. You know, be constructive. Don't just be like, you suck, because then it doesn't help anybody. But yeah, either way, and then subscribe to the channel. Follow by the bell notification so you never miss an upload. Hit that like button for me, and I'll see you all in the video later today.